I'm Nonnie. I'm with the Lightworker Training Institute and the Self-Realization Community, and I'd like to share with you an experience I've had recently of experimenting with living the I Am presence. Now, some of us may think that spiritual journeys can be boring and not very interesting and not very exciting and not very fun, but I would like to say I did this as an experiment in part, and it has been amazing and interesting and sometimes genuinely fun. So let me explain what I mean by the I Am presence. So the I Am is a term that is commonly used and recognized as the name of the divine, our source, our higher power, whatever term you prefer to use. But the I Am is not only the divine source, but it's also our identity as our higher self. It is the inner true self in each one of us. It is who, to use more traditional religious language, it is who God created us to be. So in each of us, there's this divine self. It's just a matter of discovering this divine self. And we call that the I Am. So every time we use this statement, I am, we're referring not only to that transcendent aspect of who God is or the divine is, but we're also referring to who that divine presence is in us and in everyone around us, and indeed in all aspects of the universe. So I decided to use the I am as an affirmation, or a mantra, if you will. But I also decided to use it throughout the day to see what would happen. So this was my grand experiment, living the I am presence. So when we're doing that, saying I am as a mantra, we're actually inviting the divine presence to flow into us and through us and into the world. And also we're inviting ourselves to perceive the divine presence within other people, other beings, all life forms, and the universe itself. Every aspect, every event, every relationship, we see the I am. And so the reason for doing this is in order to raise our consciousness up, eventually to become one with the pure and perfect I am consciousness, and ideally to stay there. So I started practicing the I am, and one of the first things I noticed is that after nearly 18 years of meditation, and I practice Raja Yoga meditation and Kriya Yoga meditation, after nearly 18 years of meditation, I've become much more comfortable with the concept of I am. When I first started, I would think of I am, just me, I am, and I thought, this is really awkward because clearly there's this big separation between who I am and who I know myself to be and who the divine is. And I experienced this incredible sense of separation when I first started using the I am in meditation. And it was very uncomfortable to me back then. Now I've come to realize that when I look within myself, if I see anything good at all, it's not me. I'm not really seeing me when I see anything good about this being. When I look at this being inside and out and see anything good at all, I'm actually seeing God. And in you too. I can look at you, and when I'm seeing goodness and kindness and compassion and intelligence and wisdom and truth within you, I'm seeing God in you. When you look within yourself and you see wisdom and kindness and truth and compassion and so forth, you're seeing who God is in you. So it's nothing, no difference between you and me. We all have God within us. So I decided to experiment with this. And so when I started saying I am, just recently, I decided to do it throughout the day. And I found I'd have gaps. I'd have big gaps through the day where I wouldn't be thinking the I am. And then I'd come back to it and I'd think I am. And you can do it with your breath, I on the in-breath and am on the out-breath. And I realized I have much more of a sense that this is who God is in me, not something I take credit for. Can't take credit for who God is, right? So it's experiencing our divine source and giving credit to that source for being the beauty and the love and the compassion, that's within us. And so I had that sense. But one of the first things I also realized this time around was that when I say I am, it's like praising our source. It's like, I am. I am is everything. And I generally start my day with a walk. And I have this lovely neighborhood through which I walk where there's beautiful trees, old, tall trees, and birds, and rabbits, and squirrels, and occasionally deer, not generally very often, but sometimes there are actually deer, and some human beings, sometimes in their yards or on their porches, or walking their dogs and their dogs. There's a water pond, a lily pond, and what I started sensing was experiencing the I am in everything and everyone. So that I am is in the air, I am is in the squirrel, I am is in the birds. I am is everywhere. I am transcends any sense of limited being. And it's a beautiful sense. I can use those words and talk about it, and we can know it intellectually. But when we know it intuitively and experience the truth of that, it's a whole different aspect of being. It's a whole different state of being, because then we're no longer separate. We're no longer separate from this I am. There's the transcendent I am. There's the sense of the I am presence all around us, and there's the I am within us, and all of a sudden, we're one. We're just one. And it's beautiful. It's the most beautiful thing. So we're rejoicing. So I am became this I am, and I'm rejoicing because I am is everywhere, and I am is beautiful. The blue sky, I am, everything is just beautiful. And then I would go up throughout my day and see other people and interact with other people, and I would rehearse in my mind I am, and with the intention of seeing the I am in each individual. And that changes things. Because for one thing, we're looking for the good in that person and knowing that the good is the truth of who another person is, not necessarily the ego self that someone else may present to us, but the inner self, the beautiful inner self of each person is the I am. And then we can no longer see ourselves as separate. I am as in you, I am as in me, we're one. So what I do to you, I do to myself. What you do to me, you do to yourself. We're one. There's no more separation. It's as though we're held in one heart, and we're healing one heart. Whether we're healing your heart or healing my heart, we're healing the one heart of the great I am. And then I became aware that in this I am state, I am connected with the pure presence, and the pure presence can come through me. And that's a beautiful thing, because all of this love just whooshes through you, and this joy and this peace and this bliss, and all of a sudden you're filled and you're like glowing with this love, peace, joy, bliss stuff. And you're walking around just glowing and rejoicing and smiling at people, and all of a sudden people are smiling at you and looking at you and nodding at you, and you're going, I don't know what this is, but it's the I am. When we're one with the I am, it's just huge and beautiful and loving and immense and wonderful. And life becomes a miracle, because we're seeing the miracle of the I am everywhere and in everyone. And it is intensely loving. What a blessing. And then I became aware that to be the I am, when I woke up, like the third day of practicing this, I woke up and I did my morning prayers, my before I get out of bed prayers, and I became aware that when I started with the I am at that point, that I needed to say the truth of the I am, which is, I exist to be a blessing. And I was amazed, but if you think about, our divine source exists to be a blessing. So when we are I am, we exist to be a blessing. The whole focus, the whole meaning, the whole intentionality of I am is to bless. That's our source. Our source is one with the intention to bless. And so when we are in the I am state, we are in the state of intention to bless. And this becomes an overwhelming responsibility. So the first day, I lived this way, and it was an incredible blessing, a beautiful blessing. And then I started to get weighed down. And I felt like, I want to get my life back. And so for 1 week, I've lived kind of in reverse of the I am, kind of taking my life back and going, I'm not sure I'm ready to be a blessing for everyone else all day, every day, all night, all the time. Really? Can we even do that? And I started beating myself up because I stopped living the I am presence. And I would just like to say, this has been a wonderful experiment too. Because then I would discover that when I'm not practicing the I am, one little fear thought triggered a negative event in my life. Another little resentment thought triggered a negative event in my life. One little frustration became a big frustration, triggered more and more negativity. I was like, this is like the opposite of the I am presence, and this is no fun. And then I met a gracious, very much self-realized individual, and this person said to me, that self that was the lower self, that felt the fear and the resentment and the irritation, don't claim that self. That's not who you truly are. You are the bigger self. And this was grace for me. And this grace I share with you. We're not that little ego self. That's not who we really are. The true you, the true inner beautiful you, is that lovely self, that self that knows that life is all about loving, that life is meant to be this safe and wonderful journey where we can love and trust and share with each other, and everything is going to be okay because all is well. That's real life. Not this illusion in which we live, in which our ego selves struggle to get what we want, in which our ego selves battle with each other and resent each other and put each other down and all that stuff. Not this illusion where we bring fear and think that we won't get what we want or what we need. That's not the I am, all is well, truth of being. The truth of the I am is simply being. It's not about doing. It's not about having. It's just being. And that state of being is about blessing. And then I realized that when we go into this fear and we want to take our life back, we're not giving over our life to the I am, to the source. And what came to me was that if we will give our life to the source is giving that huge God self, that huge divine self back to us. And it's giving this universal life back to us. So we don't need to be these grasping little people who try to get this or get that or do this or do that or speak this or say that. We no longer need to grasp out of desperation trying to get what we need in life. Because when we let go, when we really just let go and be the I am presence, we receive everything we need. We become who we truly